Like, no girl, you are not dating Henry Cavill as much as you post about him. I get it though, he is fine. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Caitlin if you're new here, and on this channel we talk about building your dream life and your dream closet. We talk about all things fashion, beauty, femininity, creating your dream life, living the soft life, romanticizing your life, all of that good stuff. So if that sounds like a community that you would be interested in joining, please feel free to click the subscribe button down below. This YouTube channel is growing so quickly and I'm so grateful for each and every one of you who have been subscribing lately. It is just so encouraging to really see this channel growing now that I'm like actually uploading consistently. Wow, what a concept, who would have thought? But anyways, it does mean a lot to me, so I really appreciate that. And feel free to follow me over on my Instagram at Caitlin Mahina. I post a lot more about fashion and beauty over on my Instagram, where here on YouTube I like to keep it a lot more about, you know, value-driven lifestyle content mixed in with fashion and beauty, but that's kind of the main difference between my two platforms. I know I'm slightly late to this trend, but it's been something that's been on my mind a lot lately, and it still seems to be pretty relevant on social media. And I'm gonna be talking about your delusional era, or being a delulu girly. I don't know, the whole delulu thing, I think it's kind of cute, kind of cringy, so I'm probably not gonna say that for the rest of this video, but just being delusional, being in your delusional girl era, all of that stuff. So let's go ahead and get into it. The whole being delusional trend is super divisive, and I can understand why, because being delusional typically is not a compliment. I think there's a lot of things that living in your delusional girl era gets right and what it gets wrong, and I wanted to break that down today on how it can actually help you and not just make you like a crazy person, which is kind of like what it sounds like at face value. So let's start off by talking about what being in your delusional era is not. And by definition, you know, being delusional means you're crazy, you're a psychopath, you are out of touch with reality, and that is not exactly the definition that people are talking about when they're talking about like being a delusional girl, or being delusional to the point where it's like serving you and your manifestations. So what it isn't is it's not being crazy, it's not justifying psychopathic behavior. So something that I see a lot of people hopefully joking about on social media is like pretending that they're in a relationship with a celebrity and being like, oh, well, I'm just in my delulu era. Like, no girl, you are not dating Henry Cavill as much as you post about him. I get it though, he is fine. It's also not like spending all of your money because you're like, haha, I'm delusional, I'm a millionaire, when really you're like unemployed. It's also not holding on to hope for things that are bad for you. So like maybe you just got out of a relationship and you're like, no, we're still together because I'm delulu. Like, if you guys ended up breaking up, that is toxic, that is bad. There are so many situations I feel like in our lives that we don't realize are negative and bad for us until, you know, maybe weeks or months down the line. Being in a delusional girl era does not mean you're like holding on to those things and pretending that they're still your reality. Like, that's just toxic. It's not about justifying toxic situations and toxic behavior. Also, it's not the same as lying and being dishonest. I've seen a lot of that on social media as well, where it's just like people are putting up a front of who they are and like completely faking their lives to the point where it's just like, okay, this is again crazy person behavior. Like, this person needs to be institutionalized because they're pretending to be someone that they're not, to the point where it's just like, this is ridiculous. This is completely unreal. A sentiment that I've seen tossed around quite a bit on social media when it comes to defining being in your delusional girl era is ignoring the facts and living in the reality that you choose. Part of that sentence is really problematic. I don't think you should be ignoring the facts entirely, but I do think that we can really work with the whole living in the reality of your choosing part of that sentence. So let's keep on going. So now let's talk about what being in your delusional girl era is and how to embrace it in a way that serves your manifestations and can help you call in your dream life and your dream reality. While doing research on the delusional girl era trend, I came across research that was talking about a man named Neville Goddard. And Neville Goddard, from my research, came up with something called the law of assumption. And basically, being in your delusional girl era is kind of a modern take. It's a modern repackaging of Goddard's law of assumption. I'm gonna read from my computer here so I don't mess this up, but Goddard's law of assumption says, Dare to believe in the reality of your assumption and watch the world play its part relative to its fulfillment. So to put that into modern day English, the law of assumption is asking us to act, feel, and believe like we are already the best version of ourselves, like we already are living in the reality of our choosing. And the reason why I think this is helpful if you're not approaching the delusional girl era in a toxic way, it's really easy to get rid of limiting beliefs and actually go after those things and those goals and those dreams that you have. When I incorporate the law of assumption into my life, I like to think of it as taking actions already under the assumption that my dreams are about to come true, or they're coming true, or they're true already. To me, the law of assumption and the law of attraction, which is a very, very famous manifesting principle, basically saying, you know, like thoughts attract like thoughts, like behavior attracts like outcomes, like you are going to have what you think about becomes your reality. The law of assumption, I think, is very, very similar and a great sort of like sister concept, if that makes sense. I think these two go together really, really well. And so being in your delusional girl era, or being a delusional girl, in my opinion, is just a modern repackaging of the law of assumption, the law of attraction, in a way that I think is actually helpful for people in order to shed their limiting beliefs and sort of dip their toes into the world of manifesting. If you are a serious manifester, like you are just bringing miracles into your life, which I feel like that is my life lately. Like I feel like I am just attracting such incredible things into my life that I was dreaming about a few years ago. Opportunities, money, clothing items, all these fun experiences, friends, family, partners, all of that amazing stuff. So as someone who has been incorporating manifesting into my life for quite a while now, when I first came across the whole delusional girl thing, I was like, this seems kind of childish, this seems kind of weird, and I don't really like the fact that it's talking about being delusional, because that could be toxic and really put people in bad situations. But I understand why people are talking about this, because it grabs attention. It's kind of like a clickbaity thing to call something delusional and support it and like want to take part in being delusional. But I also think it's really great for people who are like baby manifestors, who are brand new to manifesting, who are maybe just for the first time realizing that, hey, you know what? I am in control of my own life. And if being a delusional girl is the gateway to someone who is just starting off their manifestation journey, who am I to say that it's bad that someone wants to be a delusional girl if it's their stepping stone into creating their dream reality? I also think there's a very strong connection between being a delusional girl and being a lucky girl, or lucky girl syndrome. Also main character energy. Now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like I'm just like regurgitating all of these like TikTok slogans and like trending manifestation things that I've talked about a lot on my channel, so I'm not embarrassed to talk about them, but it feels kind of cringy once you just start like saying all this stuff back to back. Anyway, I did a really great video on lucky girl syndrome. It's a little bit different from being a delusional girl. It's almost more about perceiving your life a certain way, and it's more focused on like your perception of the world and the observations that you make about your life. So I would definitely recommend checking out that video as well. It is a very, very value-packed video, and so I'll link it up above somewhere. This is the point in the video when I want to talk about being realistic. And I think being realistic and being a delusional girl are complete opposite ends of the spectrum, and I think the delusional girl trend really is incredible at breaking down the, oh, I have to be realistic mindset. When you're a kid, you think that you can do absolutely anything. I thought I was gonna be like a princess, veterinarian, astronaut, probably. I thought I was gonna be a Barbie doll. I wanted to be Mulan when I grew up. I was obsessed with Mulan. I wanted to be the Little Mermaid. And when you're a little kid, it's so magical because you don't have limiting beliefs yet. You don't think that anything can stop you. You're like, of course I'm gonna be the King of England. Like, why wouldn't I be? But when you grow up, you start to become realistic, and society pushes these beliefs onto you that kind of make you feel like you can't do this. You can't just do whatever you want, which to some extent is true. I will never be Simone Biles. As you go through your life and you grow up, you start to mentally close doors. You're like, oh, I'm not smart enough to become a doctor, or I'm not pretty enough to become Miss America. The beliefs of other people in your life, of your family members, of peer groups, of just society in general, start to make you close doors on what you think gets to be the reality of your choosing. In a nutshell, being realistic is the sneakiest form of self-sabotage that there is. And I will put both hands up and say I have been so guilty of being realistic so many times in my life, and even though I don't think it's done any like serious lasting damage on my life, I love the way that my life is unfolding in front of me. Being realistic makes people want to give up on their dreams before you even try to go after your dreams. I bet there has been a point in your life when the little voice in the back of your head is just like, no, you're gonna have to be realistic. And this is where the delusional girl mindset comes in, because if you are living in a reality of your choosing, if you are kind of choosing to ignore the facts, not in a crazy way, but just in a way of, I'm gonna believe in myself and I'm going to let myself open this door and explore these possibilities towards living my dream life, because anything is possible for me because I get to create my own reality. That is when miracles and magic can happen. What has being realistic ever done for you? Name one time in your life when being realistic has led to some incredible thing happening in your life. I know I can't. And honestly, when you think about it, is living a normal life in today's economy like not delusional in itself? There are so many things that are like generally accepted in society today. Working a 9 to 5 until you're 65 and then retiring and then dying. That just seems more crazy than being delusional does to me. I don't know. Let me know what you think down below. So now let's talk about the nitty-gritty details of the mindset of the delusional girl that can really help you manifest your dreams. You need to believe that your wildest dreams are not only possible, but normal. It's time to start normalizing your manifestations as just what your reality gets to be and what your day-to-day life gets to look like. Being delusional is a perfect first step to crushing limiting beliefs, because limiting beliefs are so pervasive. They've been put in your head your entire life, people and yourself telling you what you can and can't do. And so if being in your delusional girl era is the only way that you can start to crush limiting beliefs, go for it. Being delusional is like the magic trick to confidence and positivity for me some days, because even though I consider myself a pretty master manifester, I would be inhuman if I did not have days when I was just like, oh my gosh, like this isn't gonna work. I don't like this. I don't like how I look. I don't like what's going on here. And then I turn on my delusional girl mindset and everything feels so much better, and then I'm empowered to go on throughout my day as a delusional girl, pretending to be the best version of myself even if I don't feel like it or look like it. And then, you know what, my day ends up being at least good, if not great. It's all about believing in yourself, embodying the person that you want to be, seeing your life as the dream perfect life that you've always wanted to have, and then that will empower you to take actionable steps to actually living that life. A huge example for me is there's been many times in my life where I have felt undesirable or unattractive. I've had acne, I've been through massive weight gain, I've had all different kinds of things happen to me where I just feel off, I feel gross, I don't want to go outside, I don't want anyone to see me. And there's been plenty of times where I've just had to suck it up, do my absolute best to feel good about myself, whether that's wearing a cute outfit that hides my bloating and turning on the video camera, showing up to work, showing up to the date. And there have been so many times where I have done those things and really great things have come out of me just showing up and having that self-talk and just walking into a room and being like, no, I'm beautiful, I'm gorgeous, I'm gonna walk around with amazing posture and feel like I'm that girl. And even though I've had like greasy hair in a ponytail and I'm wearing like a t-shirt and jeans, but that attitude will still get people to give you opportunities and will help propel you towards your dream life. Believing that I am desirable and rich and all the things that I've ever wanted to be in my life keeps me going, and not to mention it's so much fun. Even if this mindset never ever ever pays off for me, I will live my life feeling happier, more confident, more hopeful, and just overall loving my life so much more. I have gotten so many partnerships and brand deals lately that I never thought I'd be able to get as someone with my following, all because I had the audacity to reach out to these companies and put myself out there and sell myself like I am a multi-million follower influencer, and people are gifting me, they're paying me, they're setting up long-term collaborations with me, all because I approach these brands with this delusional mindset being like, yes, I am amazing, I am a really great creator, here's my value. And brands will see that and be like, oh my gosh, yeah, you do have value. Here's our offering. all because I had the audacity and I decided to be a little bit delusional. Okay, now let's get on to some practical and actionable steps as to how the delusional girl moves through her life, because it's great to start off with the delusional girl mindset that we just talked about, but you need to actually put those thoughts into action. You can't just lay back on your bed and be delusional and imagine your dream life and expect it to happen to you. So the first thing that you're gonna do is every minute of your day, and I will literally set reminders on my phone. I did when I was first starting off my manifestation journey and my delusional girl journey. I would set reminders on my phone, little check-ins of being like, am I being the best version of myself right now? Am I living my life the way that I want to? Am I perceiving my life the way that I want to? And those little check-ins were super, super helpful for me, and I will journal about it every night, and it's really gotten me into this mindset of whenever I wake up and I don't want to work out because I'm a little bit tired, or I don't want to film because my hair doesn't look perfect, and then I tell myself, no, what would dream girl social media content creator in shape Caitlin do? She's gonna work out, she's gonna film videos, she's gonna look like the best version of herself, she's gonna walk around and talk about the fact that she is a content creator. And guess what? Ever since I started embodying that fully about 3 months ago, my life has changed so much. I'm gonna do a video sometime this fall about the difference between structure and flow. I've done a video recently, or not recently, I did a video back in like February about masculine versus feminine energy, or it was either that or like 10 masculine habits that were holding me back or something like that. Basically what I'm getting at here is every single thing that is manifestation related in my life has an element of structure and flow. I'm gonna get a lot more into structure and flow in a video later on, but basically the delusional girl era mindset is the flow part of it. It is the, okay, like I'm embodying the dream version of myself, I'm dressing the way that I want to dress, I'm loving my life, and then there has to be structure, and the structure is, okay, what's the dream version of myself doing right now? She is doing research on, you know, gluten-free baking recipes because she wants to become a baker and have a storefront somewhere and sell gluten-free cupcakes. Great. What is the dream version of myself doing that wants to have a healthy relationship with a man? She is doing her inner work. She is working on herself. She's putting herself out there, and she's receptive, and she's kind, and she's going to social events, and she's doing all these things to try to find her dream partner. Whatever it is that you want in your life, I know you probably have a million things that you want because we all do. Focus on a few key elements at a time. Maybe you want to be financially free by the time that you're like 40. Okay, what does that look like? How are you going to think about that when you're at Starbucks and you're buying your 5th muffin and coffee of the week, or when you're going out with the girls for the 3rd time that week, and in the back of your head you're like, oh no, don't worry about it, don't worry about it, I'll just find the money somewhere else. Depending on what your situation is and depending on what you're trying to manifest, these actual steps will look a little bit different for everyone, but actually write them down. The version of yourself that has your dream body. What does that body look like? What is she eating? What are her workouts like? Another thing that I would seriously recommend here are affirmations. I am not the biggest affirmations girl in the world. I only have like a little part of my day where I kind of do affirmations, and that's on my drive to work, because I just turn off the music and just tell myself affirmations, and I also, you know, speak into existence the things that I'm grateful for. Probably sounds a little bit crazy. It is such a mindset shifter, and so if you're really, really into affirmations, you can look some up, you can make up your own, but find a part in your day when it's a little bit quieter and you have more time to be reflective and you can talk about affirmations. So I will literally be driving to work and I'll be like, I love my job, I am so confident, I love my outfit, I'm grateful for my life. And it's like a mix of gratitudes and affirmations. And honestly, I know that affirmations sound super cheesy, like looking in the mirror and being like, oh, I'm gorgeous, when you like hate your nose and you've got like a ton of breakouts and all that fun, super great stuff about having a human body and having this human existence. It might sound really silly, but trust me, once you start doing them for long enough, or if you're just listening to them, that works too, you will start to shift your mindset. And even if you're not shifting your mindset overnight, you will find yourself kind of catching yourself in situations where maybe in the past you'd be like, ugh, I hate my body, but instead you'll be like, oh no, like my body is awesome. You know why? Because I am working out like my dream version of myself. I am eating like my dream version of myself. My dream body is here. It's on the way. It's gonna motivate you to keep going, I promise. The last thing that I wanna talk about is something that I will say to myself quite often, like multiple times a week, is, it's fine. It'll work itself out. It's not a big deal. Even if something is. That probably sounds very silly, but try it. There has been so many times recently where I've like gotten a nail in my tire, or had a health thing going on that I didn't plan for, or something else happens that was not convenient or wasn't in the plan, or it's just straight up a bummer. And I know this won't work for like very, very serious issues, but for example, I did get a nail in my tire recently, and at first I was like, oh my gosh, this is so annoying. I have to go to the tire store and I'm gonna have a payment that I didn't expect and blah, 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 blah. This is so irritating. I ended up going to the tire store. I was in and out of there in 15 minutes and they fixed my tire for free because I was so nice. If I had sat there stressing and stressing and stressing and walked into the tire store and been like, oh my God, I got this nail in my tire and someone, help me, I'm so frustrated, I might not have gotten that free repair. But ever since I started embodying this mindset of, it's fine, it'll all work out, and saying that out loud, it's amazing that every single thing that I would have perceived as a problem in the past, or like a setback in being the dream version of myself, they've all worked themselves out, they've all gone away, and my life is just so amazing. And that is everything I had for this video. Let me know in the comments down below what you think about the whole delusional girl mindset, being in your delulu era. Is it something that you incorporate into your life? Is it something that you're interested in? Again, let me know down below, and feel free to subscribe to this channel. I would really, really appreciate you joining my growing family. I upload twice a week now. I do one sort of mindset related video like this, and I do one like fun video about fashion, beauty, romanticizing your life, living a girly life, all of that good stuff. And feel free to follow me on whatever social media platform you feel called to. I post on Pinterest, TikTok, and Instagram, and I have an LTK down below that's actually been growing really quickly, which I'm very, very grateful for. I post all of my outfits on there. If I don't have exact pieces, then I link dupes, so check that out down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on the next one.